All right, his office doesn't run elections. That's up to Arizona's individual 15 counties, but Secretary of State Adrian Fontes's office does oversee elections and compile election results from across the state, so we thought it was important to have him on this morning.
That's right. He joins us on Election Day 2024. Good morning. Have you received any word about any problems that could slow down your office's ability to compile election results?
Well, first, happy Election Day, America.
Can you believe it's finally here? Doesn't it feel like we've been preparing for 10 years?
Yes, I can. This is like Groundhog Day. When you're in election administration, I mean, you guys have been through this a million times too. No, we don't see any problems. We've taken all the precautions necessary. Some would argue we went overboard with some of our precautions, but we're going to make sure that we've got everything we need, the communication lines, and some backup plans just in case there are issues, communications between all 15 of our counties, so we can do that compilation of all of the results and then really do the reporting that we do over at azsos.com or arizona.vote. But the results are going to be posted at 8 p.m. tonight, 1 hour after the polls close. But I would remind voters that if you are in line by 7 p.m., even if the line is 10 or 15 people long outside the door, you have the right to vote. As long as you're standing in the line by 7 p.m. tonight, you will be able to vote.
No matter how long that line is.
No matter how long that line is. And listen, folks, let me encourage people out there, especially in Maricopa County, but in a lot of, we've got 9 counties with 2-page long ballots. Please, 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 if you haven't already, try to figure out who you're going to vote for ahead of time, because those long ballots might lead to a little bit extra time for folks standing in those polling stations. So we want to make sure that we get through the process quickly.
Double-sided 2-page ballots, by the way.
I'm looking at your website right now because it's our favorite site at election time to check results. It's azsos.gov. It's pretty easy to maneuver through that and take a look at results. You actually keep this website up live while those results are coming in.
Yeah, we do the compilation. We've got some folks in a little brain trust hidden away somewhere with more than enough bandwidth to the internet to make sure that we've got that locked in. But look, let me give a quick shout out to the all the folks that have been helping us out so far, including not just our technicians at the Secretary of State's office, but folks at the Arizona Department of Administration, our partners in a variety of emergency management spaces, and the anti-terrorism, the Arizona Counterterrorism Information Center, plus the National Guard themselves. They've been with us through this entire process and will continue to be with us as we push through to make sure that we've got clear lines of communication so folks will know they're getting the straight scoop from us at the Secretary of State's office.
This, as we talk with Adrian Fontes, Arizona's Secretary of State, on Election Day 2024, this might be a question better suited to the days after, the weeks after the election, but is there anything you wish your office would have done better or different?
Yeah, I wish we would have gotten the money we asked for 2 years ago. We had a pretty minimal ask to get some of our data systems updated, to get some more people on the ground, to make things a lot smoother for our partners at the county offices across the state. We didn't get what we wanted, and we really didn't ask for much. Last year's budget was a little bit of a help because in election years, the legislature feels like it needs to be a little more generous. But, a lot of people say that they want their elections to be run great and run smooth, and they don't want the glitches or the problems. But then the folks in the legislature don't want to pay for it. They don't want to give us the manpower. They don't want to give us the technical support. And, what are we supposed to do? We do the best we can with what we have, but I wish we could have really gotten some of these folks to walk the talk instead of just blabber about how they want things to be better and then not pay for it.
Yesterday, we've had this on the news this morning that yesterday your office was ordered by a judge to turn over the list of the more than 200,000 registered voters who weren't required to provide proof of citizenship at the MVD. So I know you fought that. And I think my name might be on that list.
It may very well be.
But isn't transparency the best policy here? Or what exactly are you worried about with that list being out there?
Transparency is the best policy. And folks that want to contact voters for campaigns and all this sort of stuff, all those names are already out there and accessible. This was a narrow list of folks who, through no fault of their own, ended up on this list that you're mentioning. But it's not a question of whether or not your name is on the list. It's the motives of the people that want to get the list and whether or not they want to come harass you at your door and demand documents from you that they don't have any right to. The Arizona Supreme Court some weeks ago told us that every single one of these voters gets to vote a full ballot. They don't have to provide anybody with proof of anything. And yet these folks, who I will tell you I don't trust, and I've got good reason not to trust them, I think they want to go out there and I think they want to harass Arizona voters. I think they want to pick on a particular set of these voters. And I'm going to continue to fight against these folks who want to harass and intimidate some of our voters. I do not think they have pure motives. And I think they include some of the folks in the Arizona legislature. Look, this is a public safety thing. And the biggest chunk of those folks are Republicans, by the way. Yeah. This is not a political issue. This is an issue of public safety and the best interest of the state. I think the court got it wrong. We made the appeal. The appellate court didn't agree with us, and so I complied with the law. But I will honestly say I was forced to comply with the law against my better judgment and against the better judgment of some folks with a lot of law enforcement experience as well. So I'm not standing by myself here trying to protect these voters. There's plenty of other voices with lots of other experience doing the same.
That is Adrian Fontes, Arizona's Secretary of State, who oversees elections across the state that are actually managed and run by the 15 individual counties. Just real quickly, we're 50 minutes into the voting day. All's well?
I got a text message at 6:38 this morning from our coordinating folks that said that as to Maricopa County, all of the polling places are open. I know there was a glitch reported at one of them, but
we just got another report of a glitch too.
They got the keys, and these things happen. Look, every single cycle, some church lady's going to forget the key. The golf school, I think you guys remember that one. They got foreclosed on the night before, and they sent the locksmith to lock us out. You know, this is just what
this
happens.
One, it says that a woman said at Scottsdale Worship Center, the printer stuck on yesterday's date. So until they get an IT person in there to fix the date on it, they can't.
Yeah, these things happen.
So. The country's falling apart because of it, though.
You know, it's the end of the world suddenly. But you know, in all seriousness, we want to make sure that everybody has the best experience possible, and these things can be a little bit more than an inconvenience for some voters who are very, very busy, and that's why we encourage early voting. You know, I know Jim, you said you voted when was it?
Yesterday. Yeah, just yesterday. Yeah.
And I voted on October 9th.
I mailed mine in.
Yeah, so you know, that's one of the many, many ways that folks can avoid these last minute headaches.